Good evening and welcome to the OzCro Soccer Show podcast. Yes, Euro 2024 fever is well and truly heating up. And tonight we are going to cover that and a lot more, that's for sure. Good evening, my name is Tonci. I'm one of your co-hosts for tonight. And after a week's absence, he's coming off the substitutes bench to make his last appearance in about 6 weeks. Ante Grabovac, good evening, and it's great to have you back, albeit for 1 week. And why is that, Mr. Grabovac?
Because, man, I'm heading for retirement, that's all, godine prolaze and all that sort of stuff. No, we're heading over to Croatia, so should be fun. Yeah, really looking forward to experiencing the Euros. Haven't experienced a tournament over in Croatia since 1998, actually. I was there and actually went to the 98 tournament, but didn't get any tickets this time around, but I'll sure to be enjoying the Croatian summer and watching the game in normal time, not 2 a.m. in the morning and things like that.
Hopefully, mate, you are the good omen, and when you get there, you will spread the good luck to the Vatreni, and they'll emulate, if not do better than what we did in 98 in France. Mate, we've got a huge show tonight. We will be talking about the Euros, obviously, with a kickoff this weekend. And but in the meantime, who are our guests for tonight?
Tonci, you've put me on the spot here, let me tell you. We've got Tom PAUSAK from North Geelong and Ecoduct as well. So I'm really looking forward to talking all things Ecoduct with PAUSAK, and as well as quite a few other topics of conversation around North Geelong. Tonci, tell us about the rest.
Yes, we've also got, history was made in the nation's capital over the weekend when the O'Connor Knights, for the first time ever, qualified for the national round of 32 of the Australia Cup. We'll be joined by their president, STIPE RADIC, a little bit later on. STIPE will be telling us just what this means for the club from the nation's capital. And they are doing very, very well. Only up until a couple of weeks ago did they actually end their winning streak that lasted over a year. And it was to the Monaro Panthers, but they got their revenge on the weekend when they beat the Monaro Panthers in the final of the Federation Cup, which also doubles up as the qualifier for the round of 32 Australia Cup. We'll find out all about the news that's happened here and abroad as well. And we'll also have a very, very special guest, Ante, a mystery guest. Let's put it that way, folks. This is someone who will be the guest co-host over the next 2 weeks. And we will also be discussing the Vatreni and their chances at the upcoming Euros. But that's not all, Ante. We've also got, with all this wintry cold weather, a competition giveaway that'll will certainly warm the cockles of your heart and might warm something else. Tell us a bit more about that, Ante.
Yeah, I think we've got a prize from OzCro Imports. Absolutely. So we're going to be throwing a trivia question out there. So the person either who gets the answer right or is closest to will get that award. Thank you to OzCro Imports and Jordan Fitchek and the crew there who do a fabulous job and import some wonderful, wonderful alcohol.
Yep. So stay tuned a little bit later on. We'll have details of that giveaway and how you can also score yourself a free, well, we'll tell you a bit later on. In the meantime, folks, we're going to take a very, very short break. Thank you to our major sponsors, Living Gems and Gem Life. Adrian Pulic and the rest of the crew up there on the Gold Coast. Thank you so much for supporting the OzCro Soccer Show in 2024. All right, here's a few words from our major sponsor, and straight after that, we've got the news desk.
Who's to say who's young, who's old? Compared to who? Age is complicated. You see, most people really stop getting older at age 26. But their bodies just don't get the memo. So, hidden inside most over 50-ish-year-olds is the soul and spirit of a 26-year-old with the same loves and desires and hopes and dreams, just in slightly different packaging. Why waste time wondering when you could be enjoying? It's your life, and life is what you make it. So, what are you waiting for?
Over to you, Ante, for the last time for about 6 weeks.
Make that 8, Tonci.
8? Oh, no.
Yeah, I wanted to do this last week, but I couldn't make it. So what I wanted to do was actually a football lesson. So I've got Ante's Nogomena Škola, which is happening here, and one of the absolute legends of Australian football, Johnny Warren. He always used to say 2-0 is the most dangerous scoreline in football. And that indeed was the case, not this past week, but the week before. Tune into what happened. So we had the Western Knights, who were leading 2-0 in the Australia Cup. Actually, as we went off air 2 weeks ago, we thought this is in the bag. But then back came Olympic Kingsway and actually beat them 3-2 and kicked them out of the cup. Example number 2 was in the Illawarra Premier League. South Coast were leading Wollongong United, Wollongong Macedonia 2-0. That was half-time scoreline. Again, 3-2 they lost. So you got to play the 90 minutes, boys. And then example number 3 was the very next day in the New South Wales NPL. Sydney United were leading by 2-0 against Wollongong, and then they lost 3-2. So there you go. The words of Johnny Warren still ring true, and I can't believe it's 20 years since his passing this year. That's just absolutely unbelievable. Absolute legend of football in Australia. Okay, moving on to the weekend's league winners. We've only got 6 logos there. And the Brisbane Knights were 8-2 winners over Springfield United. We had 5 different goal scorers there, and they're in first place. Also in Queensland, Gold Coast United, they won 3-2 over Peninsula Power. Taisei Kaneko scored in that game, actually scored 2 weeks in a row. He's an ex-Sydney United player. And so they're sitting pretty in first place as well. So all good news in Queensland for the Croatian clubs. Over in Sydney, Hersel Zagreb, 2 big wins in a row. They had a midweek fixture in Wollongong, and then on the weekend they beat Bankstown 4-2, and so that propels them up to 6th spot. So well done to the Zagreb boys. In Dandenong, they had a huge 2-0 win over Oakley Cannons, and they're finishing in 7th place at the moment. and Oakley was second before that particular match. So that is a big win for Dandenong. Melbourne Knights in the Croatian Derby, they were 2-1 winners over St Albans. That was the first win in 5 matches for the Knights, and that propels them up to 9th spot. And over in Western Australia, they are pronounced Coburn. No matter what you see on screen, it's actually Coburn. And Guelph ended up 2-1 winners in a bit of a derby there, with Mba scoring 2 goals, and that brings them up to 8th spot. So that's fantastic. There's a lot of matches happening this weekend at home. Tonci tomorrow night. Sydney United take on NWS Spirit, who actually beat them last week in the Australia Cup. So if you aren't doing anything tomorrow night, rug up and get to the Sydney United Sports Centre. At home this weekend, North Geelong, who are coming 14th, are taking on Melbourne Victory, who are coming first. So get on down to Elko Park and cheer on the North Geelong boys there. Adelaide Croatia at home to South Adelaide Panthers on Saturday afternoon as well. The big Croatian derby on Saturday afternoon.
It's going to be a big one.
Dandenong at home and leading in terms of the Croatian pack in the Victorian NPL, coming 7th, taking on Melbourne Knights, who have got a point to prove, and of course, victors over on the weekend. So get on down there, support both those Croatian clubs and, the big Croatian derby. Glenorchy Knights, who we'll be talking about soon, of course, winners yesterday of the Tassie Cup, the Lakoseljac Cup. They actually are taking on Riverside Olympic this weekend. I don't know how. If you saw the celebrations yesterday, I don't know how they're going to recover. But anyway, it's going to be a big week of celebrations there at Glenorchy. Hersel Zagreb are at home, and they're making this a massive evening leading up into the Euros fixture for Croatia. So they want everyone to get on down there. Everyone who plays for the club, they're going to have the canteen open, all that sort of stuff at Penzas Park on Saturday night. And then after that, head on down, which is only up the road, to Peakhurst pub to watch the Vatreni in action. And in ACT, Canberra, Croatia are taking on the 6th place Tuggeranong on Sunday afternoon there. Away team, there's a lot of away games, Tonci. And in the ACT, we've got 1st versus 3rd. So that's a huge match for O'Connor. That's tomorrow night. That's a catch-up fixture for them. They're still celebrating their Federation Cup victory. So we'll talk about that match with our special guest coming on soon. Newcastle, Croatia are away, as are South Coast. Huge match, big, derby against Albion Park White Eagles. So hopefully we can get the victory there. Western Knights are away to Perth. Guelph, Croatia away to Murdoch Uni. St Albans, Dinamo. This is the relegation battle. Moreland are on 7 points. St Albans are on 7 points. So, huge match Saturday afternoon.
Massive game, this one.
So get on down, and hopefully the St Albans boys can get the 3 points there. Gold Coast are away on Saturday evening. Sydney United are away on Saturday evening. Brisbane are away on Saturday evening. And O'Connor are away on Sunday afternoon. So, quite a few matches there. Still in the Australia Cup, Tonci, we had 2 sets of bad news during the week. Of course, we've already mentioned Sydney United lost 2-1. They were leading 1-0. 45-metre screamer from our guest from a couple of weeks ago by Patrick Antelmi. Beautiful goal, but unfortunately in the second half we capitulated and lost 2-1. And 2 former United players unfortunately scored against us. That always hurts. And then, of course, it was a massive task for Newcastle. They were playing against a team 3 divisions above them, coming first on the ladder, and they ended up losing 5-1. But they'll be back next year. But, of course, the good news, Glenorchy yesterday, if you saw it in extra time, it was fantastic scenes. I don't know if you saw the guy with the sword and the cup with the shield. He was fantastic. And they won by 3-2. It was great action, actually. And, of course, we have the victors in O'Connor Knights. Fantastic victory over the Monaro Panthers. And both clubs are going on to represent Croatian clubs in Australia in the Australia Cup round of 32. So, and, of course, tomorrow night, another massive fixture. St Albans have got the chance to join O'Connor and Glenorchy as only the 3rd Croatian clubs, should they defeat South Melbourne. Tonci, can they do it? South Melbourne are coming first.
Well, if you go and look at the form guide and you look at the league guide, I guess you'd say there's no chance. But this is the thing: we want a cup set. We want a Crow Cup.
We beat Green Gully the other week, right? And that was
exactly. And you know what? They haven't been playing that badly. It's just that, yeah, look, anything's possible. South Melbourne obviously want to make a big imprint, and they want to make a big impression and get back on the national stage, particularly with the imminent national second division. But anything's possible. Put it this way, Dinamo are going to go tomorrow night to Lakeside Stadium with nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. And if they're going to do anything, this is the opportunity to do so. But, yeah, look, there's the list of clubs that have so far got in. It would be great to have club number 17 there as St Albans Dinamo and make it 3 Croatian-backed clubs to get into the final round of 32.
Yeah, it would be sensational, Tonci. And, no matter what happens, it's fantastic achievement that we've got O'Connor and Glenorchy there. And, depending on who they get in the draw, and the draw actually, I see O'Connor are having a next Wednesday, 10:30, basically come on down and watch the draw together to see who they actually get. So the watch party, that's it. You've prepared it. There you go.
Everything. I'm right onto it, mate. Right onto it.
6:30 p.m. Not 10:30 a.m. Gee, 6:30 p.m. There you
go. Yeah. Yeah. So I guess it's watch the last game, of course, and then after that, it's going to be time to watch the actual draw, which will be conducted straight after that last game. Folks, we're going to take a very short break. When we return, it's time to look at what is making news over in Croatia. So much going on over there, that's for sure. Now, before we start, Ante, during the week, I guess a little poll, or if you like, a ranking system has come out of all the top 30 leagues in the world. And would you believe the much maligned and often underrated Croatian Premier League, the HNL, ranks 14th. Now, this is fantastic news. Above some very big, leagues like the J League, the K League, the Saudi Pro League as well. The Liga MX, the Mexican League as well. And some of them don't even make it into that top 30, if you like. A lot of European leagues don't. Of course, you've got the big five, the Premier League, Bundesliga, Serie A, La Liga, League A. And you've got a couple of those other leagues around there. But all jokes aside, that is, amazing achievement. And everyone who follows the Croatian League have said this year has been an incredible year, a big boost for the Croatian League. And look, in years to come, the amount of money that's being poured in for infrastructure, a lot of the players that are coming back to the Croatian League, both foreign and expat Croatians as well. It can only augur very well. Having said that, I don't know what is going on with Hajduk. They were on the verge of securing, a very big name in Ivan Juric, who's been in the Italian Serie A competition for the last few years. Everything was almost signed, sealed, and delivered, and then at the 11th hour, negotiations fell through. The Croatian press is suggesting that, and the Croatian press these days is very much like the English Fleet Street. They come up with all sorts of clickbait.
Imagine stories.
Yeah. But I guess in this one, there's obviously a little bit of truth to the rumour that Juric was just put off by the fact that he had to wait for the Nadzorni Odbor, which is like the supervisory committee, to rubber stamp this. And instead of the Nadzorni Odbor from Hajduk Split sort of convening an emergency meeting, they said, you can wait until Monday, you can wait until then. Well, yeah. Look, guess what's happened? In the end, you've had a very, very professional coach, a very highly credentialed coach, and above all, a highly successful coach who understands the culture, understands the temperament there. He's just been made to walk. And he apparently turned down 6-figure offers from Saudi Arabia and other Italian and French clubs. But I'm sure a coach like that won't be waiting around for too much longer, that's for sure. But anyway, talking about the various leagues in Croatia, they've started the qualifiers for the various leagues. And this is the qualifier for the Prva Liga, which is the second-tier competition. Orient was the second last team in the Prva Liga. Kustošija was the third-placed team. in the Treća Liga, or the Druga Liga, however you want to call it. The second place team. They have now played their first leg. Orient has come away from Zagreb with a 2-1 win, and next weekend they'll play the return leg in Rijeka, so they've got a really, really good chance of taking that out and staying in the Prva Liga. In the third tier, these are the champions of the third tier competitions, and they will be now playing against each other to see who progresses into the Druga Liga, so the third tier competition. Slavonija Požega and Uljanik Pula fought out a 0-0 draw in Slavonia, so the return leg will be played in Pula. And this one is probably the one that has captured the imagination of a lot of football followers. Segesta Sisak at home defeated Zadar 2-1, but the all-important result here is that Zadar scored an away goal, and there is still that rule that away goals count double at this level of competition. So the return leg, this weekend will be played at the Zadar Stadium, the Stanove Stadium in Zadar, and that will be packed out. There'll be 3,000 to 4,000 to 5,000 fans, no doubt, turning up for that, because they do turn up when there's a big game involved. And that goal that they scored, what was it, in the 80-something minutes, 84th minute, Vukadinovic, that could prove to be very, very decisive, very important. So that's going to be interesting to see how that fares. But, it's going to be, basically, that's going to be probably the game that most people will be very much interested in.
Definitely. We've got a City United connection there with a couple of board members as well.
Australian-Croatian consortium that took over NK Zadar. I don't think there's been too much movement as far as investment or too much happening in that regard. I think they're just waiting for Zadar to get promoted to the higher division, the higher league, and then we might start to see things. But there's been a lot of issues behind the scenes. I think with the transition of ownership, unpaid debts from previous owners and whatnot, and that kind of
Power
stuff. Power struggle. Yeah, what's new in Croatian football? Alrighty, as we saw, the Vatreni, they've been making their arrival. There's a photo of them in the Croatia Airlines plane. I think this is after they left the Vatican. So they've had a very, very busy last couple of days, or even the last week. They defeated Portugal. That was an important confidence booster. They beat Macedonia in Rijeka prior to that. Then they arrived in this town called Neuruppin, a small German town, and there was like 20,000 people that came to fill out the main square in this tiny German town. And if that's the kind of Docek, at the start, imagine what it would be like if they go really, really well, go deep into the competition and end up, one can dream and end up winning the competition. In a press conference when the Vatreni did arrive in Germany, interestingly, Zlatko Dalic, the coach, did say it's the one tournament that Croatia hasn't done really well at for whatever reason. Yes, we've done well at the World Cup. Yes, we've done it well at the Nations Cup. The Euro Championships now is the last bastion. So we'll talk about this a little bit later on.
2008 game against Turkey. That's the one that was elusive, right? Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Anyway, we will be talking about that with our mystery guest a little bit later on. Hopefully, he will be arriving very, very shortly. In the meantime, we're going to take a little bit of a break. When I say a little bit of a break, this is a very special presentation that happened in Melbourne over the weekend during the Croatian derby between the Dinamo St Albans and the Melbourne Knights there at Churchill Reserve. Thank you very, very much to Ivica Petrlic from the Gospić Bears, who presented our winner of the HNL Fantasy League, Josip Žilić, with some prizes.
Well done, Josip. Well done.
Thanks, Ivica. It's an honour to take out the tipping comp, and it's fantastic to have your support on the OzCro Soccer Show from from our first year all the way through, and good to see all the show last week as well, and all the good stuff that's happening at Horsebridge. Thank you very much for the kind prize. I'm privileged to be wearing this, especially on a day like today where it's a bit cold here in Melbourne. Put it on, and pozdravljiko, really bit the diko. And also, like a jersey. Beautiful. And for you, Tonci, yeah, that's the pride. For you, Tonci, we've got a jumper, same as this one, and a beanie. Okay, so it's good to drop that off. Thanks supporters on the OzCro Soccer Show. Thanks Tonci and Ante.
There you go. Fantastic there from Ivica Petrlic and Josip Žilic. Thank you so much, very much. Thank you so much for that. Yeah,
we're going to have to do it again this year when the season kicks off, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we haven't got our first guest, our mystery guest, but we do have a special guest from the nation's capital, the president of the O'Connor Knights, and he joins us now. So we would really like to welcome Stipe RADIC. Good evening, Stipe. How are you?
Good, boys. Thanks for having me on.
Absolute pleasure, mate. Well, first of all, congratulations on the Federation Cup. That was absolutely fantastic, mate. It's a huge result. Tell us a bit about the game itself, Saturday's game. Talk us through the lead up to it. Talk us through the game itself. How because there's so many supporters there at Deakin Stadium, and then the aftermath. But yeah, leading up to the game, how did you as the president see everything unravel?
Oh well, leading up to the game, I was in the change room with the coaches like I always am. I don't say too much, let the coaches do their stuff. I only have me 2 bobs worth at the end, and that's about it. But like anything, you let the coaches do the talking, and the players respect the coaches. The boys are fired up. We just basically had words as don't let it happen to you. What happened last week is a better team, and go. Just press forward, play the pressing game, play hard like you play, and that's it. It was good to get sort of the monkey off our back with that year of not losing a game the week before, and they pumped the boys up.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like it. So were there any tactical changes or anything like that as a result of the loss the week before against Monaro, or were the boys just up for this challenge?
Oh, the boys were up for the challenge. Last week we sat off 3 of our starting players, gave the young fellas a bit of a run, and also we lost Packy Manda, one of our starting, with a hamstring injury, so we're down a player in the Australia Cup. But it was just basically go out there and get them, just put the foot down, put your foot on their throat and don't let it go. When you go a goal up, just keep going.
Yeah. Now we've got some edited highlights of that particular game, so we're going to have a watch of that. And Russell Gibbs was the commentator. So, folks, if you haven't seen it, enjoy back. It goes for about 3 minutes, but enjoy the edited highlights of Saturday night's game.
Last week's match came on in late in the second half, nursing an injury that he picked up in that cup semi-final win. Sebaran's forwards, won by Melik. Max Melik, the fullback, ever present at the back. He's got Paisler outside him. Jackson Paisler with the opening. Jackson Paisler with the goal. O'Connor Knights break. O'Connor Knights lead. Lachlan Fields, the creator. Jackson Paisler, the scorer. Drive at some stage tonight, you feel he'll have to make a save or 2. Here's Bassa Silk. It might be now. He's skipped past Sebarans, who did just enough. In towards Ceruti. 1-1. Geno Ceruti, the man on the spots, and the Panthers are on terms at that end.
By being tenacious in midfield, winning those little battles in the last 10 or 15 minutes, and being happy to get numbers forward in attack.
Adams has slid it through. It's Patrick O'Rourke. It's 2-1 Knights. A bolt from the blue, from the league champions. And it's O'Rourke who scores in stoppage time.
And that is the game.
Sebarans has it. No doubt it was a sore one for Lachlan Fields. Always is when someone catches you in that part of the heel. Warren slips. Might turn into a good ball for Ehegi. Has turned into a good ball. It's Isosa Ehegi! 3-1 Knights! From goalkeeper to centre forward to the back of the Panthers' net. And it might be the goal that breaks open the cup final. 4 minutes into the second half. It's their main man, Ehegi.
It was a restart. It was a basic restart. Monero Panthers.
Bassa Silk. Here's a chance for Luca McCaw. Up against Roberts. First involvement. Got a foot on it. Helps Fields get away. Rides a couple. Rides a third. Gets past Straub. Lachlan Fields. What a run. Past Deep Jones. And he's rolled it in for Paisler. Jackson Paisler. Floor for the Knights. That might do it. It might be the moment. It's a moment that Lachlan Fields can look back on. A rampaging run. And when Paisler was in, he was not going to miss. And O'Connor are one step closer to the round of 32.
Lachlan Fields.
Jenna Cerruti wouldn't mind a double on his dad's birthday. Cerruti against Arans for the Panthers. Can he convert? He can. It's consolation. It's scant consolation. It might be the last kick of the football. 6 minutes into stoppage time. It is. O'Connor Knights will progress to the round of 32.
Fantastic. Stipe, so tell me, did the fans stay at Deakin or did you tell them to come back to O'Connor for the after party?
I didn't tell them they know where to come. It was all good. We had a big after party, invited everyone, and just come back and just the usual celebrations by us Croatians. You know how we are.
Look good.
A few Palinkovacs, a few boxes of Karlovačkos. You know, it was one of those celebrations anyway.
Yeah, well, we talked about the watch party, and the party just continues. The round of 32 watch party that's going to be happening on Wednesday, the 19th of June. So if you're in the Canberra area, do come down to the O'Connor Croatian Club from 6:30 p.m. onwards. We invite all players, staff members, sponsors, supporters, and any members of the local football community to our watch party as we find out who will face off against as we represent the ACT on the national stage. Now, mate, if should you draw, obviously you're going to draw a team. Would you prefer an A-League team or would you prefer someone, what I call a federation member club?
Well, an A-League team will be good for like the promotion of the club and the promotion of our team. Mm-hmm. We've got a lot of young, good, talented players. No egos, just hard workers and get the job done. And it would be good to see them to come up against an A-League team to get some sort of recognition for a couple of young boys.
Yeah, would you be able to play that game at home if you are the home team, or would you have to play it at Deakin again? It all depends, does it?
Oh, we could play all. If we play an A-League team, we get the host. We are the home team, so we get the host, and obviously we'd have to find the venue. And whether that's at Deakin or somewhere else, we'll work that out when the draw comes. But, yeah, just looking forward to the challenge. Like I said, I'm very proud of the boys. They deserve it. All the accolades that come to them, they've worked hard. We haven't lost a game in a year. Just all credit to them, And credit to the coaches. We've got Miro Trinic, one of the best, if not the best around. Speaks for himself, and Alex as TD, and obviously my coaching staff, Double and Emmett. I've got Nicholas Titters, Skirtic as a manager, and also I've got the boys down to 23s that we're always rotating the youth up. So between all the coaches and the club and the committee, it's all one strong unit. So we all operate together, and bring on the fun.
Yeah, it seems you've built a really good club spirit, which has propelled yourselves to that fantastic achievement of 1 year being undefeated. Do you know if you get subsidised for an away match? Let's say you got to travel to Perth. You got to make sure the boys take the day off, right? If they've got to go to
well, I was actually reading last night. Oh, well, my missus was. I'm not much of a reader. Yeah, actually, what I've seen is that the Football Australia subsidises for 23 of your staff or players and staff to will give you a reimbursement if you have to travel far. So we'll see when it comes to that who we get drawn, whether we're at home or what happens. But yeah, that's what I read yesterday. Like I said, Mrs. read last night.
Yeah, really exciting if you do get to play a home game and get national TV coverage and things. That'll be huge for the club.
Now, speaking of national exposure, I guess, what exactly does this mean for the club? Like, if for a club like O'Connor Knights, is it, apart from obviously the publicity and stuff like that, but tangibly, like Ante spoke about subsidies for travel, but does this mean that, sponsors are now starting to show a lot of interest? Players from other clubs in the ACT are sort of saying, ooh, we're really thinking about the O'Connor Knights as a destination club. Well, what has there been any kind of impression on the club in this short time?
Well, just you see, we get a lot of, especially we created a junior base, so we've got a junior base all the way through to the MPLs.
Yep.
And just the way, like we always had it in our heads, the boys in the committee, me, Nicholas Borčić, Steve Rezo, Alex Tunich, we're always like, if we're going to create a club, we've got to be like an army. Everyone's got to be dressed the same, look the part, everything. So from our juniors through to our seniors, we look the part, we dress the part, we play the part, and we attract players, people, especially when you're the top dog, everyone wants to knock you off.
Yeah.
We don't take anyone in, everyone's got to pass a code of conduct.
Like a certain standard, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, yeah. But that's fantastic to hear. Now, has there been because I know you off the air we were talking about the facilities that you've got are quite poor actually, and a lot of the football facilities in Canberra are. But by being on the national stage and hopefully the powers that be there in Canberra will be able to take up and sit up and take notice. Are you hoping that that's going to be the case?
Yeah, I'm hoping, but I'm not holding my breath. Football in Canberra, it doesn't get recognised enough. We don't even have a home of football here. The facilities are, they're not the best. They're not up to standard, but we deal with what we got. At the moment we're at O'Connor, we haven't got lights there, so all our games are day games. If they're a night game, we have to book the AIS or like Gungahlin or Deakin or something like that. But, otherwise the facilities are poor all around. It's not just with our club, it's just facilities in general with sports in Canberra, unless you're cricket or AFL.
Yeah, or rugby league, exactly.
Yeah, or rugby league, yeah.
Stipe, is this the first Federation Cup that the club has won, or have there been several before?
Oh, we win the old cup back in, now you're testing me. Back in the time when we won the Crow tournament was the year we won the cup, the Federation Cup.
Okay.
The year we won the Crow tournament that year. So just trying to think off the top of my head, but yeah, there's so many dates and stuff. I can't remember everything, but yeah, this
is the first appearance in the round of 32 for the club, right?
First appearance in the round of 32. It's huge for the club. Like I said, we've been around now for 27 years. Like I was one of the starters of the club back in '97 with a few other guys. Just from boys from Canberra, Croatia, who were sort of, not that we're getting older, we were 18, 19, and we're sort of like, I take it as serious. We'll make a team over at O'Connor, and just so then it built from that. In '99, we had a first grade and a reserve grade squad who back then we won the Premier League 2 when it was promotion as well. So we won the Premier League 2 as well in the first grade and the reserve grade, but didn't get promoted because we didn't have juniors.
Yep.
So we had to wait for our first promotion in 2004. And then we had our Belconnen feeder club, a Bell West, who was our feeder club as our juniors. And that lasted to 2009. And then Capital Football restructured the league and sort of removed us and Juventus, who were never last on the ladder, were always above the six. Like back then there was, I think, 10 teams, always up above the top six. And basically removed us and Juventus out of the league and bringing Goulburn and Cooma. So basically the club we sort of depleted after that. There was only a few of us old boys playing like pub league, you know. And it wasn't until like 2017 that Miro and Alex Finich come over, and us and the boys were just having a few drinks at the table, you know, we had a pub squad then. It was like, oh, do you want to do something again at the club? It was like, well, let's try it out. And mate, our success was pretty quick, you know. And then they bring back in promotion relegation in the COVID year in 2001. We got promoted. And the first year we got promoted in 2022, we were top four. Last year we blitzed the league by 15 points, didn't lose a game till this year. So it's been a huge success, not only with our seniors and our juniors, our NPL boys. You know, second year in, they were promoted as well. So we've got the NPL boys. So we've got all our structures from our under sixes all the way through to our juniors, to our NPL boys, to our NPL men. So we're flying at the moment. So,
and as we can see,
exciting times.
Yeah, we've got the table there on screen, Stipe, as we can see at the moment in third position. But you've got a couple of games in hand as well. So win those two games and you'll definitely jump over Monaro Panthers and also Gungahlin United.
Yeah.
So you're well placed in the league as you are.
Tomorrow night, big match. Do you think you can beat the first place, Stipe, or the boys been partying too hard?
Oh, listen, the boys party. We party on, but they're that fit. They're young. They've still got plenty of miles in their legs. But we went out. We partied at the Crow Club, and then later on that night continued in Civic. And yeah, the rest is history. But the boys turned up tonight for training, had a light session, you know, and it was good. You know, I come home, it was raining down here, so just got home before, so it was good.
Yeah. Awesome, mate. Well, we're going to have to let you go, Stipe, but thank you so much for joining us on the OzCro Soccer Show podcast. Mate, wishing you and everyone there at the Knights all the very best in your quest to get past the round of 32. And geez, wouldn't that be fantastic? But also for the rest of the season and the ACT NPL comp.
Absolutely.
Thanks, boys. Can I congratulate Glen Orey, Croatia, for making the round as well. Good luck, boys, and good luck to St Albans on the weekend. Hopefully you do them. And we have 3 Crow teams in the last 32. So good luck to the boys down in St Albans. You know what?
How good will that be as well? Yeah,
it'll be excellent.
Thank you,
Nice
Steve.
talking to you, boys, huh?
Thanks.
Pleasure. That's Stipe Radic. Sorry, I think we might have cut him off. Thank you to Stipe Radic, president of the O'Connor Knights. Ante, we're going to take a short break. When we return, it's time for our mystery guest, folks. Our mystery guest, he will be, let me announce this, he will be also the guest co-host over the next 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. Don't go away, folks. And also, we've got our big giveaway prize to come up on the other side of the break.
EcoDuct is a Geelong-based business which manufactures an environmentally friendly low-profile duct system that is specifically designed for high-rise apartment applications where limited ceiling spaces are common. The innovative duct system is used to exhaust kitchen and bathroom ventilation where there are limited ceiling spaces. The only Australian-made PVC duct supplier in the country, EcoDuct, has full control over its stock and has an unlimited supply to ensure all projects run smoothly. They are 30% cheaper than the imported products and are 100% Australian made. Made from best environmental practices, their products are made of up to 50% recycled material and is 100% recyclable and compliant to all Australian standards. For more information, call EcoDuct now on 03 5278 5573. That's 03 5278 5573 or visit their website at ecoduct.com.au. EcoDuct are proud sponsors of the North Geelong Warriors Football Club.
Welcome back to the OzCro Soccer Show. Now, before we unveil our mystery guest, he is in the green room. He's very, very eager. It's time now, Ante, for our competition giveaway. And we're having a little bit of technical issues from our end tonight, so we're going to do something a little bit different. Ante, over to you, mate.
Yeah, well, you can put the answers in the Facebook. I'll be monitoring that. But also, if you text your answer to 0402 012 716 along with your name, you'll be entered into the draw to win that fantastic OzCro Imports prize, with some Croatian famous liqueurs and alcohol and anything else.
It's a Slivovica bottle. It's a bottle of Slivovica. OzCro Imports, and Juro Fricek have so graciously offered in this wintry weather that we're having here on the east coast of Australia. If you get this right, and you are the first person to send through, now either you can text it through to 0402 012 716 or pop it in our Facebook. So it has to be our OzCro Soccer Show Facebook page. Ante's looking at that. And as soon as we have a winner, we will announce it. Now, what is the question, Ante?
And only one shot, okay? Just like the Slivovica, there's only one shot, okay? You can't do multiple entries. All right, so either this person will get the exact number or the closest to will win the Slivovica. So the question is, of course, we're all very proud and very famously always mention that Croatia has never lost to Italy. Tell us how many other countries that we have played twice or more that we have not lost to. So how many other countries other than Italy have we played twice or more and not lost to?
Take it away. Folks, in the meantime, we've got our mystery guest coming on now, and he is going to be the guest host for the next 2 weeks while Ante's away overseas in Croatia. And who may that be? It's Steve Skornjak from Adelaide. Good evening, Steffe. How are you?
I hate you, Ante, already.
No, I'm loving you.
How are you? How am I going to handle this man from the city of churches? I'm going to have to go to a church myself, I think, and pray for strength. But Steve, no, all jokes aside, thank you for agreeing to come on the show over the next 2 weeks. And how you been? How's things been over in Adelaide for you?
Yeah, not too bad. First time in about 15 months. We had some rain this week, so it's all getting better. But no, on a serious note, it's just everything. Those of you who got kids, that's basically my life. Taking him from one training to another, and even tonight, my wife has to finish work early to get him to academy training, and that's what absorbs our life. His soccer. So we're just doing nothing different than what our parents did for us. In different times. So it's all good here.
Yeah, Ante.
Yeah, exactly, Steve. So what do you think about Croatia's chances? Have you been following the team? You've been looking at the squad. You've been watching these practice matches. Where are you going to be on Saturday night? All of those answers, you got to answer them. You've only got 30 seconds.
There's only one place to watch the game in Australia. And that's the Croatian Sports Centre here in Adelaide. But no, it's just. I was having a chat to Tonci today, and the Croatian national team. We're biased. We're passionate, we're loyal, but I don't know. There's no barometer for them. They are just a well-drilled tournament team. There's good teams and there's bad teams. There's teams that go up and down, but it's just no fluke. Since we've come on the scene, in the Euros in the late 90s and in France and in the World Cup, we are just we thrive. We thrive for tournaments. The bigger the tournament, the better. And I think Tonci, stole my thunder, but I think he might have pinched my line from today. But the Euros is one tournament we've probably been poor at. World Cup speaks for itself. 3 World Cups out of how many we've qualified. We're probably the best performing nations without winning it. We are probably, the best performing nation in the world who hasn't won it. Now, the Nations League, whether that's a joke or not, it's different. People are finding it hard to get to take it seriously. But the Euros is
they're just glorified friendlies to me. Still,
Yeah.
the Nations League. It's just another word for a friendly, right?
It's all working in one way. You know, you read into the club, the Champions League, the Super League. It's all heading for a Super League. These powerful clubs, you know, they can't get this Super League they wanted, and the English clubs broke away. When was it, last year? And it failed at the 11th hour. But yeah, they're going to just keep going. They're going to keep. There's going to be another tournament now. There's going to be Euros, and there'll be the Nations League. There'll be a World Cup. They're going to come up with something else till UEFA or FIFA finally break and go, you know what? Have your Super League play.
Yeah,
that's sure what the big boys want. But you know, that's good for us because you know, I think you said before, you know, the ranking of the HNL, the Croatian League, has gone up, and you know, you look at Dinamo, they're one of the most successful clubs in terms of transfer, you know, revenue from transfer, promoting players, and you know, and you know, you got this Dinamo Hajduk rivalry. Yeah, you know, I love it. I'm a Dinamo supporter, and you know, you don't like, you know, you're not supposed to like Hajduk, but you know, the rivalry this year is intensified the league and made it better. And the better the league, you know, the players watch, the good players watch, and then so you watch the transfers they'll get next year as a result.
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more. Let's have a look, gents, at the Croatian team, the Vatreni. This is a great little a graphic, I guess, where it shows, I suppose, the full, well, in some cases, the selected team, and then it also shows all the players in that position. So let's have a bit of a discussion, starting off with the goalkeeper. I think we'll all agree Dominik Livakovic at the moment is first choice, but Ivica Ivušić and Nedeljko Labrović are just as good. Steph, over to you. What are your thoughts on the goalkeeper's position and the depth?
I think the depth in every single position, without jumping the gun, is extraordinary, and it's just typical of what Dalic has created. He's created this. He's manipulated these players. He's got them. He's like the old Alex Ferguson. You know, every single player in that squad, and you know, the reserves of these squads, they'll do anything for him. The man's he's just that aura. He's just a magician. They'll play for him.
Special. Totally agree with you there. He gets them together as a unified unit. Obviously, if anyone, you know, strays away a little bit or wants to be a bit rebellious, he's not too proud to kick them out as he's done in the past. But this team, as you can see, like, you know, there's a lot of experience there. All of the players, even the players who are pretty much, you know, the second choice for that particular position, they're very experienced now in the Croatian national team. Yeah, I think we could be on the cusp of something special. But as we mentioned before, we've always struggled at the Euros, and you know, I would argue, and I don't know if you guys agree, that maybe the Euros is even a harder competition than the World Cup.
Well, you know, I'd agree with you there, Ante. It always kind of seems to have, like, you know, you can look at the World Cup and guess in years to come they're going to expand it even more. So there are some of those clubs from, or countries from other continents that are not as strong as the European ones. And each World Cup, you often find some really, really good countries don't even qualify. Italy is one that comes to mind in recent years as well. But so the Euro Championships is one of those ones where the concentration of quality is just going to be so much more intense. But what really impresses me about, I guess, the squad here is that the person taking over from the first choice is just as good. And in some cases, you know, Juranovic, Baturina, who's going to be a star of the show. Lovro Majer, to me, is the next Modric, in my opinion. But if you have a look at some of these players that can take over, you know, Perisic, all right, it's saying there he's a striker, but he can actually play left wing, sort of that left attacking wing, or on the right as well. And then you've got players like Gvardiol, of course, who's been such a sensation. He can, and he more than likely will play out on the left like he does at Manchester City. So there's a lot of experience, there's a lot of depth, but above all, Steph, I think there's a lot of versatility as well.
There's just so much flexibility, and it's not only the players that are there; it's also the players that aren't there. So we've just got some high quality, you know, some through ill discipline, some through poor decisions, some through just bad luck. So the depth is there, and it's it's just amazing. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but Dalic is just an absolute magician. He's got these. He's like the pigeon feeder, and he's got him eating out of his hand. And there's nothing these players won't do for him. And that's probably since Chiro Blažević, it was the same. He's just got a squad there. You've got the first 11, but you can argue the next and the second and the third selections. And what he's done there is he's a master of all situations. In the 5th minute, something's not going right. He can look on his bench and make a substitution that's not even going to change the balance of the team. It's just going to make it better, and people won't notice.
Yeah, and even in the last tournament, we were thinking about where the goals are going to come from because, of course, we lost Mandzukic. But here we've got so many players actually scoring goals. We had Mayer score 2 against North Macedonia. We've had, obviously, Budimir in fantastic form in Spain, and he scored on the weekend as well. We've had Vlasic put bombs in, and, there's goals. And, of course, Guardiola has been scoring for Manchester City. So there's goals throughout the whole team now, which we've never, which we didn't have in the last tournament, in the last World Cup, that's for sure.
Yeah, maybe one of our criticisms in the past has been we've had 2 good strikers that all the attention's gone through them, and they've copped a battering, and we simply didn't have the backup. And I think Dalic has seen that, and it's over a period of time. Like, it's way before Russia that when he took over, he's seen this, and now he's creating what we've got now. We've got such a flexible side, but we've got a great tournament side. That's where these big sides, that's where Brazil were powerful. They just never had a bad tournament. And that's where Croatia's heading. Like, if we don't win it, we're always talking to Tonci today. I think a poor result for us would be probably quarterfinals. We should be striving for semi-finals, final, tick, successful tournament.
Yeah, it'd be good to send the actual wizard Luka Modric out a winner. I'm sure this is his final tournament, and look, he deserves it, and as does Dalic, as do all the players. But of course, particularly Luka, absolute legend of Croatian football, will be the greatest player we've ever had, if not, one of the greatest, depending on whoever comes in the future, right? But absolutely, he deserves to go out a winner, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, let's have a look at the games, starting obviously with the first game, Spain against Croatia. So that's going to be at 2 o'clock Sunday morning, Australian Eastern Standard Time. Then we've got Croatia and Albania Wednesday evening at 11 p.m. Then we've got Croatia and Italy Tuesday, the 25th of June at 5 o'clock in the morning. So obviously all those games will be televised live on Optus Sport, and I think Optus Sport will probably have a half-hour preview show before that. I know our very own Gold Coast Knights coach Scott McDonald is going to be heavily involved in the Optus Sport presentation as well, the team there. So we're looking forward to that. Also, we're looking forward to, Steve, having you on board for the next 2 weeks. So all jokes aside, I can't wait to renew old hostilities next week on the show. But in the meantime,
you wait till I start with the old tournament stories, Tonci. Gotovsi, mate.
We're going to make sure it is a PGR rated podcast. This, so none of the
all those times you put up, they're not Stevens times. They're just the Eastern Seaboard times. He's got a half an hour earlier than us, right?
That's all right. Yeah. We're older here. We're an aging population, so we need the games to start early.
Yeah.
Get in the papuche and the chai, kamilca, and beautiful. Sit down.
Exactly.
Ante's already at that, mate. All right, Steve, thank you once again.
Thank you
for joining us on the OzCro Soccer Show. Look forward to having your company next week and the week after.
Pleasure, Tonci.
Good on you.
Thanks, Steve.
Steve Skornjak, he's an absolute legend, without a doubt. Looking forward to having him over the next 2 weeks, that's for sure. And we're going to take a very, very short break. Have we got a winner yet, Ante?
I've got to check, actually, Tonci. While we're on the break, I'll go.
While we're on the break,
I've got a text message saying, is it undefeated or 100% record? It is basically we haven't lost against these countries. So how many countries have we not lost against? Obviously, one of them is Italy. How many others that we've played twice or more have we not lost to?
All right, there we go. Okay, we're going to take a short break, and this might tantalise the taste buds in the meantime. Yes, the OzCro Imports, they are the suppliers of tonight's competition giveaway prize. A bottle of Slivovica will be coming your way.
Look, Chala's got it. He gets a Slivovica. 24 is the correct answer.
24 countries.
24 countries we have not lost to. That is including Italy. So, yeah,
there you go.
Very well done.
Well done to Tony Chavar from Sydney. There you go. Excellent.
He's a statistician. He used to keep all the Sydney United stats and all that sort of stuff.
There you go. Well,
He's got some spreadsheet somewhere, that guy.
Yeah. Well, maybe what we should have
Finca
done
was close with 22. Very close, Beto Finca. But yes, it is indeed 20.
Tony Chavar. Mm-hmm. Congratulations. All right. Our next guest, our final guest for tonight, it's been a bumper show, is he's also one of the directors of EcoDuct, which is one of our advertising sponsors, so we really appreciate their support. He's also the president of the North Geelong Warriors Soccer Club, and it's an absolute pleasure to welcome Tom PAUSAK to the OzCro Soccer Show. Tom, how are you going?
Very good, Tonci. Yourself?
Very good, mate. Very good. Well, first of all, on behalf of Ante, myself, and everyone involved with the OzCro Soccer Show, thank you to EcoDuct and for sponsoring the OzCro Soccer Show this year. But tell us a bit about EcoDuct and what it actually does.
Well, EcoDuct, it's a low-profile PVC duct. It's used to exhaust your air from your kitchen and bathrooms. In apartment applications where you've got limited ceiling space, which is basically everywhere now. Where we are Australian-made, the only Australian-made duct, made of up to 50% recycled material, 100% recyclable. And we are located basically in every single state in the country. And we also sell to New Zealand as well and a few other countries around the world.
There you go. If you'd like to know more about EcoDuct.
How did you get into this? How did you get into EcoDuct? Let me tell you. This is amazing.
Well, it's another business that I'm part of. We were an installation company as well. And it was a funny story. The people that we used to buy it from, they just kept running out of duct. So I said to my business partner, STIPE and Marinko, I go, we need to do something about this. We either start importing ourselves or make our own duct. And lucky we did because... we ended up becoming 30% cheaper than anything that's actually coming in, from overseas. So that's
there you go.
Do you supply nationwide or even further than that, or
around nationwide. We are in every single state, and again in New Zealand and in Vietnam and Thailand and a couple of other countries.
How many years have you been running EcoDuct like yourself? Since you've
probably about 8 years now.
Fantastic.
So, and we're from Bell Park, so it's not just Croatians that come out of Bell Park. We actually got duck that come out of here as well.
Business success stories as well. Tom, as we mentioned, you're also the president of the North Geelong Warriors, and it's your first year that you're doing this gig. You probably spent many sleepless nights and what you're not about it, as no doubt most club presidents do. But how are you actually finding the gig? And look, you've been in the job for half a year now. How are you finding the first 6 months of your mandate so far?
Look, it's a tough gig, like anyone knows. It's almost a full-time job on top of a job, but I'm very proud to be the president of the club. I've been involved, for the last 20 plus years, and anyone that knows me there, I've always been working along. I am lucky this year, out of all the committees that I've ever been involved with, it's probably the hardest working, most selfless committee that I've got. So that's been good. We've got a great community. We all sort of chip in, and it's a real blue-collar club and community because we face a lot of different challenges in terms of we don't get the same grants like other people do. So, for us, we really are behind the 8 ball in terms of getting the grounds ready, maintenance, facilities, upgrading, all sorts of stuff. But if you do see the club, where it is now, it's in a great position. Brand new grandstands, roofs, air conditioners, all sorts of stuff. It looks really good at the moment.
That is excellent. And, of course, we want some success on the field, don't we, Tom? Got a big game on the weekend.
Yeah, look, it's been a tough year. It's unfortunately the position where we are on the ladder does not reflect how we are playing. And anyone that has watched the game or talked about it, and Tonci can sort of attest to this, they're playing fantastic. It's just one of the unluckiest years that I have seen. Just not being able to take our chances when we should be. But last couple of weeks, things are starting to turn around. We've got a couple of wins, which is good. A little bit unlucky against Berlin last week, but I think it's starting to turn around, and I think we'll get there. I think we'll be okay.
I guess one of the problems of having such a young squad, and I think there's something like 5 or 6 16 and 17-year-olds playing is consistency. But in recent weeks, probably the last 3 or 4 weeks, and there has been a certain consistency across the board, and I guess it's one of the shining lights this year has been the emergence of that young talent, as I mentioned. 4 or 5 16 and 17-year-olds consistently playing week in, week out. Now, one of those has been a fella called Raymond Diha, who's 17 and he's come up through the junior ranks there at North, Tom, but he's been selected for, get this, the Papua New Guinean senior national team. This is the story in the local press that's come out. And he, as we speak, he's over in Fiji at the Oceania Nations Cup. Mate, tell us about this young fella. And this is not the first youngster, teenager from North Geelong to go and represent a national country or national club overseas.
No, well, look, with Raymond, this kid he's just a star. Not the tallest kid, on the pitch, but he plays like he's 3 feet taller than what he is. No fear. He just goes out and it didn't take him long to cement his spot, in the first team. He's exciting, he's electric, and he's just really been great for the club. And he's helped lift, the rest of the team with that confidence in the back line. Kid's amazing. He's really, really good. Very lucky to have him.
It's actually rich areas of football talent, right? We've got a Samoan child, under 19 player. He's playing for Samoa at the Gold Coast Knights. Of course, we had Manus Lamond. He used to play for Sydney, Croatia back in the 80s. He used to play for Papua New Guinea and stuff. So, there's a rich vein of talent in these island nations, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. But, and it's there's going to be a few more stories coming out with some of these kids we're talking about. We've got, Luka Didlica. This kid's fantastic. Just 17 or 18. Marcus Pettitin. Remember these names. Sonny Brimmer has just come on the scene for us. They're all 16, 17-year-olds. Marko Juric, who's just on the brink of making a senior team as well. Lots of exciting stuff. And you look, Noah Skorka 2 years ago was in our senior team. This is a kid that's playing for Hajduk Split now and, just been selected for the under-17s Croatian national team. So a lot of the stuff that was talked about 10 years ago, which, Josip Skorka and Joey Didlica, who put so much work into these kids over the last 10 years, it's starting to come to fruition now.
Tom, how do you lose a coach to the Chinese national women's team? I mean, how does that happen from North Geelong to China?
Oh, look, I don't know. It's a big gig and it's a big step up for Joey.
Absolutely.
Which is we can only applaud these guys. With when they take it to the next level. And it was amazing for us. He was really, really good, and he's played such an integral part with where all these kids are at and what they're doing. So he's absolutely amazing.
It's great for people like him to get that sort of experience as well. And
Ante, I guess if the Chinese could build a bridge in Croatia, the Pelješački most, the Australian Croatians are building the Chinese national women's team with Ante Milicic, Tommy Vidovic, Ivan Jolic, and Joey Didlica. How good is that? But look, Tom, I mean, all jokes aside, that is incredible recognition for the Australian-Croatian football fraternity. And I guess North Geelong, your club, has produced so many Socceroos in the past as players. But I guess, and that's the problem, we aren't producing a lot of players these days for whatever reason, but we seem to be producing a lot of coaches now. That golden generation seems to be moving on and becoming great coaches. And I guess that's testament to the fact that we seem to be doing something right with our clubs in Australia.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Tonci. But look, the other good thing for us as well, all these, success stories that we've got coming through, it's, shines a light on a club like ours as well, where our location where we are from Geelong, we're just out of Melbourne, so it's hard to draw players like it is for these Melbourne clubs. So, we're going to work a hell of a lot harder to produce these kids, but it also attracts, kids that want to come to our club, want to play, and get themselves to these levels, which is good. So it's been great for us in that sense.
Yeah. Now, Tom, apart from the boys and from the men that are getting recognition, over the last few years, maybe the last 5 years, there's been a real concerted effort to lift the profile of women's football at North Geelong. And it's that also starting to reap rewards. In today's local daily there in the Geelong Advertiser, a young lass called Lucy Shimich has been selected for the Victorian girls team to take part in the national championships. And a great story, great read there. Mate, this is, I guess, just the start of things, as you said. But that's an incredible story. Tell us a bit more about young Lucy.
Look, she's fantastic. She's such a good player, electric on the field, and to be selected now for the the under-15s Victorian squad, it's just great. Again, shining a light in our club with the women's where we are. There's probably been a growth of about 30% this year with the women's side. But there's a few more players coming from these girls. Remember this name, Evie Stacey. This girl, she's amazing. She'll be playing for Australia one day. And there's just a whole list of them coming through. So we're very, very lucky to have the women's program where it is at the moment.
I think it's been a massive growth spurt for a lot of Croatian clubs and all clubs around Australia. I mean, riding off the coattails of the Matildas as well. There's been a great interest in women's football, and the numbers show that, don't they?
And I think after the Matildas, I think that was the big spark, basically for every club around Australia. The interest for the women's just went through the roof. So it's really, really good for all.
I know, Ante, down in Melbourne just the other day, I think Football Victoria came out with a statistic that it's hit something like 90,000 registered players, and it's driven largely by the rise in women's football. And I think previously, if I'm not mistaken, Tom, I think the number was in the 70s, the mid 70,000s or something like that. So that is an astronomical growth figure. But we're seeing that Australia-wide. But yeah, down in Victoria, the numbers are just absolutely spectacular.
And for a club like yours, Tom, does that mean you need extra volunteers? Does that mean you need, extra grounds? I mean, these jumping numbers, what's the impact on a club like North Geelong?
Look, we always need more grounds. We are, always working with the council to try and get as many grounds as we can to help us keep training these kids. Our mini roos, we've got hundreds of kids, metros, NPL. We just can't get enough grounds. So it's a constant battle that we've always got. And, I don't think we're the only ones, but for us, it definitely is with all the growth that we had.
Yeah, it's another challenge, isn't it?
Yeah, it certainly is.
Now, Tom, something we speak about with all clubs, all the Croatian community-backed clubs around Australia, is the importance of the community and the importance of those soccer clubs to the respective Croatian communities. Now, in Geelong, at the beginning of March every year is the long weekend, the Labor Day long weekend in Victoria. And one of the big events that has become iconic with the club in recent years is the Festa. And we've got some couple of footages there of the local folkloric group from Geelong, Lado, performing for attendees there at the Festa. Look, how important for the prosperity of these football clubs, the success of these football clubs off the field, is it that these clubs are not just soccer clubs, but they are community clubs, whether they're Croatian community clubs or clubs within their own community. This is fantastic. Look at those photos.
Look, it is. It's such an important part. And we've been working as close as we can with that many clubs. The Croatian Community Centre in Geelong, Lado, Hrvatska Zora were fantastic. They come down for the Festa. But a lot of the clubs are facing, similar challenges, with the declining numbers, with the Croatians getting involved, what it used to be.
Yep.
So we've got to work harder than ever to, keep working together, keep these functions going, keep our traditions going. It's really important. And you saw for us, when we had the Festa. It was well supported from all the Crow clubs, in Victoria. They were all there, all the dancing groups. And then to have someone like Papua Liga come down from Sydney, what a draw card they are. They're just next level. They're next level, amazing. So it was really, really good. And
you had the privilege of going to the Concord, the new Croatian club up in Sydney. And for anyone who has seen some of the photos, gee, that looks amazing.
Yeah, very impressive club. It was a very special weekend, the opening weekend that just passed over the long weekend. And and again, just like Tom was saying, like it's always special when we get together, right? And it was a massive excuse for us to get together. And Papua Liga did play on a Sunday afternoon, as did not pretty much, every single band in Sydney played. And so it was a great showcase. And, the Sunday night, it was just a party. And like the good thing is they've got space now. So they've got outdoor space. They've got 2 massive screens, etc., to show sport and things like that. So it's, hopefully the community really gets behind it and keeps coming back, because obviously it was great to see so many people this past weekend, but for the club to thrive, we need the traffic to keep coming through.
And that Concord, I can't believe how beautiful that place is. You get lost in there. 2, 3 beer gardens. There's the hall. There's restaurants, pizza ovens.
And so many nice touches. You look up on the wall, they've got a nice girl. If you look on the floor, the touches that they did in the end were just really superb. And the Charles Beer's paintings on the walls and things are really nice.
Now, Tom, we're going to let you go very shortly, but before we do, we talked about the positive impact that the Matildas had and the World Cup, the Women's World Cup on football and the playing numbers. The Euros start this week, the Euro Championships. I know quite a fair few people from Geelong that have been lucky enough to get tickets and are going over to the Euros. But, mate, are you expecting how much... Firstly, how far do you reckon Croatia will get through? And if we get to the final and we win it, do you reckon there's going to be a big sort of a renaissance within the Croatian community of people wanting to take up soccer and be the next Modric or Mayer or Kovacic? What are your thoughts on that?
I think so, 100%. Firstly, the team is looking amazing. I really think they're going to be, like you were talking about before, worst case quarterfinals, but definitely deserve it to be in the semi-finals, or if not even in the finals. The kids are already buzzing. They, I've got my son already negotiating with me about, waking up for all the 2 a.m. games. Which, and I will for something, this is a once in a lifetime to see a team like this. I'm expecting it's going to boost all of our clubs. And you know what? And I love when this comes along because it unites all of us. We're all together and fighting for the same cause. It'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Mate, on that note, thank you so much for joining us on the OzCro Soccer Show. Wishing you and everyone at North Geelong all the very best, not just for this weekend and the rest of this season, but certainly in the coming future.
And EcoDuct as well, of course.
And EcoDuct, absolutely.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure to be on here and a sponsor of the show. So you guys are doing a great job. Keep doing what you're doing and keeping us all connected together. Love your work.
That's what it's all about.
Appreciate it.
Right on you, Tom. Tom PAUSAK, the president of North Geelong Warriors, a true gentleman. And, just reiterate what I love when I hear these people say, it really brings us together, it unites us, because it absolutely does. So,
and it's great. We've spoken to 2 presidents tonight, and it's great to see the passion that they have, right? It's not an easy job to be a president and to build that culture. And, we've got one extreme to the other, whereby one's won a trophy and coming first pretty much in Canberra, and then one's a little bit struggling in North Geelong. But that hope, we've got the production of players coming through in both clubs is very exciting.
And don't worry, the side effects are that sooner or later things are going to change for the better, and they usually do, particularly when there's younger players involved. Ante, we wish you all the very best. Probably the next time we'll be speaking to you, you'll be coming to us from either Zagreb or maybe somewhere in Lika, or maybe somewhere down on the sunny Dalmatian coast.
We'll see what happens. Yes. Thank you very much, Tonci. Thank you. And for those in Sydney, Boston Club's open. Obviously, Warrington, Croatia out there for all the Euro games, as is King Tom. Unfortunately, the Concord can't be open due to it's just open now. We've got to get good with the council and all those sorts of things. But Herschel Zagreb, as I mentioned before, have got a big event at the Peakhurst as well, which is one of their sponsors. So anywhere around Australia, get behind Croatia at the Croatian clubs with other Croatians, and it's always better, like we said before, when we're together, right?
That's right, yeah. On that note, folks, look forward to having your company again next Tuesday night when Steve Skornjak will be joining me in the co-host's seat, and we'll be able to talk about the first game. Hopefully it's going to be a positive one. Good night, and we'll see you next week. Go Vatreni.